Hey Chuck, so what possessed you to create a mobile office?
So the mobile office was created very much out of need. I live on a farm here and the internet is not so good. I have satellite internet. I have a 25 meg download, which is more than enough for video conferencing. But 3 meg upload, it's really getting close to the edge of what would be acceptable. But the thing that really kills me is the latency. I have anywhere from a 2.5 to a 3.5 second, that's 2,500 milliseconds to 3,500 milliseconds of latency from the time my signal gets to the satellite to the far end. So if I did have a full 25 meg download and a 3 meg upload, even with that latency, it makes conversations very unnatural. There's a lot of pausing, a lot of not knowing when to speak and speaking over people. So I decided to go mobile, and I did a bunch of testing before I actually built everything, and I used my cell phones, a hotspot on my cell phones. And I found a couple cell towers around the area where I could get anywhere from 100 to 200 megs down and anywhere from 30 to 60 megs up. But the killer was I was getting 33 millisecond to 75 millisecond latency. And usually we recommend less than 150 milliseconds. So that was great. So now I had good connectivity. I just had to build the office. All right, so we got here, and what I'm gonna have to do is do my setup. I tested everything, so I'm gonna have to set up everything for real, pull out the inverter, hook it up underneath the hood, and then get my inside stuff set up. So let's do that right now. All right, so just like we did before, I'm gonna hook this up to the post that I have mounted in here. I'm hooking it up ground first. Ground first, probably get a little spark. Nope, no little spark. See if it's actually kicking. All right, so the inverter's all hooked up. Checking my voltage right now. It's got 8.9. As soon as I start it up, it'll probably register a good 12 volts. So we're hooked up, powered. Let's start her up and see what we do. All right, so now I have a good 14.1 volts. I can read it on the top of the inverter. The inverter's not going to go anywhere. It's plugged in. So inside now, just one last quick test to make sure I'm getting at least 120 volts on the inside. All right, so I have my multimeter and probes. And check out the power strip. We got like 119, 117 before. Let's see what we have now. So getting about 130 volts. Again, this is not a true sine wave, so it's probably going to register a little funky. As long as I'm getting 120, everything has a transformer on it, it'll handle it just fine. So now I'm going to go inside and start pulling out my equipment, start putting things up. I've already put some pillows up in the dash to help out with some of that noise. So let's get everything set up. All right, so I want to make sure I have enough gas to get through the next hour or so. I leave the truck running, so I have that alternator providing my power and not the battery. I want to make sure I have a good, consistent, steady power stream. So I'm going to leave it running. I'm going to shut the hood now and get all the inside set up. First thing I'm going to do, just like building a rack, just like my AV system, I have to worry about the power first. So I'm going to hook up the power and get my power lined up. I want to make sure all my AC cables are down in the footwell and they're going to have the least chance of giving me noise on other stuff or interference on the smaller voltages. So the power is going to go down there, and USB-C will be coming up for my laptop. And I'm also going to run my my big USB power supply. So let's plug this handy dandy in. Mac power supply. So I'm going to run USB-C through the cabin, through my cockpit. So now I have power for my laptop. I've got power for my USB peripherals, a quick charger for my phone. Make sure that's full of juice. That's going to be my connection to the world. Auxiliary phone, just in case one internet goes down, the other internet takes over. And that's powered here. All right, that should do it for this side. Go back around and start getting my workstation set up. Even though I have a lot of sunlight coming in, I still want to be able to control some light if I'm getting shadows on my face, so that's why I bring the ring light, so I can set it off to one side or angle it or aim it. I'll grab my laptop and my extra monitor. Dope. I brought a couple extra cameras. The main camera I'm using today is this camera. It's got a 78-degree throw, so I get really close and it's gonna still cover my face. It's not gonna be a big wide shot. I'm not gonna look real fish-eyed. It's gonna look very natural. I have this other camera to demonstrate, which is a super wide shot. It gets the entire inside of the cabin if I want to. I'm not gonna use that for this, for my communication, but this is good to demonstrate things. If I have activities to do or a workbench to focus on, I have this big wide angle camera. So I'm gonna plug it in just so I can demonstrate it for my podcast, and as well as my dot cam. I have a USB dot cam. It's just a USB out and it folds out. It's USB powered. And I shove this. I put this in between the seat and I use my console for the desk. This is just one of the things, you know, so I can have it written out. One of the things I figured out where to put the camera at, where to put the body of it, and run the USB cable. So that's where my dot cam is going to live. All right, so right now my download speed's about max 60 megs, average 31.7. Upload max 30, average is about 5-6 meg second. What I really want to check is my latency. 65 millisecond latency. 65 millisecond latency is great for a podcast, for any type of digital communication. All right, so here I am. I'm getting ready to dial in for my podcast. I'll test out my cameras once we get on. Well, I can test them out now. Let's see what these cameras look like, huh? So this is this camera right in front of me. As you can see, it's very tight angle. Angled up just a bit. I want to frame my face as best I can. There we go. Let's switch cameras, see if we can switch cameras here. Oh, that was my laptop cam. Here's my other cam. Nice tight. Laptop's in a good position too. This is not a bad camera. Here's my dot cam. So if I need to actually write on the paper, I have a little bit of shadow on my dot cam. What's that from? What's that shadow from? Is that from this thing? It's probably from my phone. Yeah. But I could still write stuff and it comes out. It's fine. Dot cam works great. I don't think I plugged in the long cam here. Oops, just lost my Sharpie. You get the long cam plugged in. It's all very delicate operation. Here's the wide cam. As you can see, it's very, very wide. I have to focus it. So these two cameras are at the same distance. Here's a wide cam, and here's my webcam that I usually use. Much tighter shot on my face, a little bit clearer, a little bit crisper. I got a little bit of shadow going on, so we're gonna have to get the light closer, take care of that. So let's get ready to do this. Okay, so I have all my stuff set up. I've got my network. We did our network tests. I made sure my camera had the right angle to it. I have my headset mic down on the floor right now. I'm getting ready to use it. And we've tested everything to the 10th degree. I made sure everything works. Oh, here's my headset mic. So we're getting ready to log in, do the podcast, and everything should be successful. I have a better than average chance of being. I guess now it's all that's left is to do the thing. So I'm gonna shut the door and we're gonna get going. All right, let's do this podcast. Hey, how's it going? This is Chuck Espinoza coming to you from my mobile office, and I am so happy to be on the Association Chat podcast.
It's impressive that you could make it work in such a small space like a car and have a mobile office. My final question is, how has it been received? Like, do you tell people where you are? Do you explain your system, like, and how you've designed it? Does that become a teaching tool for you?
So, yes and no. Sometimes when I'm just doing a presentation for a manufacturer or whatnot, they don't want to know that I'm in a car. They don't care.
Right.
I'm doing a presentation on networking or audio or video, and it has nothing to do with the mobile office. So I put my digital background on. No one's the wiser. It looks like I'm in a studio or in a home office or wherever. During my design classes, during prep classes, when we're talking about these things, and especially now doing more DL classes, distance learning classes, I do a reveal. Hey everybody, I know we've been here for 4 hours, so I'm going to show you guys what this is all about. I take my digital background off and I take my camera off and show them, like, there's a big box store right there, there's the cell tower, there's the bed of my truck. And the look on people's faces, like, we would have never known.
Right.
If you do it and do it well, no one's the wiser. If you do it well and show people, it really brings up conversation about how flexible we can actually be. You know, people don't think you're in a car. Nowadays, we have to be mobile. We have to be able to be remote. And even just if your internet at home goes down, you should be able to pick up everything. You know, I've got a couple hours to go. I'll pick up everything, load it in the truck, get it in there, and I can do that. I can operate from anywhere that I have cell phone service and I can park. So it does get to be a teaching tool. Sometimes I throw it out, sometimes I don't. It depends on the situation, but anytime I do throw it out, it becomes a topic that we talk about. And I try to tell people every time, this whole thing is the fundamentals of AV design. Your needed acoustic gain for your microphone, your potential acoustic gain of what you need, getting that microphone closer, getting the less volume because you have your loudspeakers closer. You know, that's all math we do for designing conference rooms and systems. It's the same math. Camera angle, big thing on the camera angle. Hey, I have 2 feet to work with. I need to get my camera angle down and see what my shot's gonna be. When you're designing rooms, you have to worry about STI, sound transmission index. Well, what's the STI of my front window? I don't know, but I know these pillows really make it help out, right? And like we can get mathematic on it and math the heck out of it. I just throw some pillows in there and I'm good.
Right.
So all of those things that you do when you're designing an AV space, you do it when you're designing that AV space. No different. And the more your fundamentals are rooted in your brain and the more that those are the things you think about when designing a room, the easier it's going to be setting up your mobile office.
Interesting. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to me and explaining your mobile office.
My pleasure. Had a good time. Hopefully everybody gets something out of it.